Namaste, dear ones, and welcome. My name is Neen Puliano, and I'm the creatrix and owner of Urban Oracle. Thank you for being here. Today I want to talk about grief tending. Grief and grief tending. The importance of grief tending, why you should do it. It's really good for you. So it's no secret, like, we do not live in a culture and society today that widely respects and honors and embraces not only tending to your grief, but showing up for others while they're tending to their grief. This whole idea of communal grief tending, where we allow ourselves and allow others to express and feel all the feels that they have when they feel them. We don't really do that anymore. The problem with that is that when we don't tend to our grief and we don't tend to it properly, all those times that we ignore how we feel, when we just pretend it's not real, it doesn't happen, or I'll get to those feels later, and then we forget and we just don't do it because we're uncomfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable, we stuff that grief down and it ends up getting stuck in our bodies in a way that it can no longer escape. And when it can't escape, our body ends up experiencing very unfavorable health symptoms, including disease. Okay, so untended grief is very detrimental and debilitating to one's health. So it's very important to tend to our grief, and it's even more important to tend to it as it's being called to be tended to. So when your physical being is asking you to respond to these feelings that are currently bubbling up and rising up within you, it's important to answer that call as it's being given, because that is your body's way, your consciousness's way of telling you you are now ready to receive the medicine and gifts that are held within this particular moment of grief. And if you ignore the call, if you do not answer and respond to the call and show up in a way that says, yes, I will make room and make space to process this grief that's coming up, that's bubbling up for me right now, you miss out on an opportunity to learn and glean important gifts and medicine that's about to be presented to you that would further help your life to both thrive and to flourish. So there is a misconception about grief, and a lot of people associate the wounds of their past with grief. They envision them as it's all one and the same. Like, my grief is my wound. I have grief because of my wounds. Like, my grief and my wounds are one, but they're separate. So we all have traumas and triggers of our past. And grief tending is the solvent or the solution. It's this magic elixir that cleanses and nourishes and polishes our wounds to be powerful gifts and medicine that helps us to thrive and kick major ass in life. Okay? There's so many beautiful things being offered to us in the hardships of our past. There's so much gifts and medicine held within the context of our wounds. We just haven't been given the tools and learned how to look at our wounds in a way that actually benefits us and nourishes us. When we do look at the wounds of our past, they're still as raw and as like bone chomping and numbing and shaming and just heavy, yucky weight. Like, we still feel the weight of all of those almost in the same way as if they just happened just yesterday, even if these events of traumas and triggers happened 25 years ago. Okay? So grief tending is an opportunity to equip you with new tools to view these wounds in a new way that brings you into a beautiful relationship with the events of your past. And by doing so, it changes how you receive new events in your present and in your future as well. What if you were able to perceive anything life has to throw at you as a gift? What if you were able to perceive anything that life could throw at you as a gift? Now, for me in my personal journey, I was able to transform people I had labeled in my past, in my life. I had these labels of people that I felt wounded, had hurt me in my past. I'd labeled them as the villain of my story. I labeled them as the worst relationship of my life in my story, things like that. Only to, through this grief tending process, I come to discover that they were actually the heroes of my story because of what they inspired me to step into within myself, with where I chose to divert and change course and direction in my life because of the experience I had with that person. That they were able to bring out new sides of me that turned out guided my path in a way that brought me more beauty and more wisdom and more inspiring connections than I ever would have been able to obtain had I not met this person and experienced them in this unfavorable way. So there's profound healing and medicine that is available to you by having the proper tools, being equipped with the proper tools to look at the events of your past, these traumas and these triggers, the people that were in your life then, and also to have a look at who you were then and be able to offer compassion to those events, to be able to offer compassion to yourself and to others so that you can glean the wisdom and the medicine that you've otherwise been missing. We all carry weight around from our past, but what if you don't have to carry any? What if you can transform that weight entirely into energy that's so super useful and beautiful and uplifting and elevating to you now and to all the days of your future? Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to be able to do that? So through my own grief tending journey, I can't tell you what a weight was lifted off of me to be able to perceive all events of my life as gifts instead of as traumas and triggers or as wounds or, the areas that I need healing, all of that kinds of things. Like my relationship to all of those events and to all those people and to myself now and then has been so widely transformed that I really want everyone else to be able to experience this too. It's such a huge difference. It's made such a huge difference in my life. It's made such a huge difference in how I receive newness and new events and new people and new information in my life. I'm able to approach things from an entirely new way that actually nourishes me and feeds me no matter what it is. Even when it's unfavorable, I'm still able to see what is this moment trying to show me right now? Like what is it trying to teach me right now in this moment? There's just all these hidden gems and juicy gifts and great beneficial medicine to be gleaned from everything that life has to throw at you. So I would love to help guide you through this wonderful 6-month experience of equipping you with the skills and the tools you need to be able to transform and heal these aspects of your past without being sucked back into those same old loops and stories that you've always known about yourself. You don't need any help with those stories. Those stories are ingrained in your brain. I'm here to show you how to transform them without feeling like you're reliving it, and to glean some new gifts that you may never otherwise have uncovered. These tools will also equip you for your future and how you deal with the new things coming your way. So I'd really love to be of service to you in that way. I'd love to pay it forward and pass on the gifts that have been bestowed to me. I'd like to pass them on to you. So I am offering a 6-month grief tending process, but it's a program called Sweet Surrender. and we'll be doing grief tending through art and writing. And I'd love for you to check out our website that's presented at the end of this clip. Check it out and read about it and see if it resonates for you. We're going to be launching on February 2nd. It'll be virtual. We'll be meeting every other week on Zoom calls, so you can dial in from anywhere in the world. And we'll be meeting on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. If I get a lot of interest from folks that are overseas, I can carve out a secondary time slot that's earlier in the day to make up for the time difference. It would still be on Tuesdays, but so don't let the time zone be a deterrent for you. But go check out the website, check out our program page for Sweet Surrender. And if it resonates for you and you're interested, our enrollment process is to complete our enrollment form, which is at the bottom of the page after you read the details of the course. And then we'll set up a 15-minute free Zoom call, just the two of us, so we can connect. I can learn about your goals and what excites you about the program. And this allows me to ensure that I'm able to meet your needs and to meet your goals. And it's part of my duty to ensure that everyone who takes the program can hold sacred space for each other and be a part of helping me maintain that sacred container and community for everyone involved. I want everyone to have a very supportive journey and experience, sharing their ride of this grief tending journey, their ups, their downs, their trials, and their triumphs, where they're feeling stuck and where they've had wonderful success. It's a communal grief tending process, okay, with homework and individual activities, but we get together every other week to share about how things are going. So complete our intake form, schedule that 15-minute call, and I sincerely hope to show up and be of service to you over the next several months of this new year. 2021, it's a brilliant time to make a commitment to invest in yourself and to invest and spend time in healing the wounds of your past. We've all just come out of an extraordinary year of 2020, and the timing couldn't be better for taking time for a new you. New year, new you. So I sincerely look forward to being of service to you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.